Alright, g'day everybody. I figured we'd go for a quick walk around before it starts raining again. But I just noticed there's some potato lady beetles eating my potato plants. And breeding, looks like, so I'm gonna have to take care of those. Oh, crazy crowd, buddy. So I've noticed more and more of them around, I guess just because everything's been pretty overgrown lately. But if it gets worse, or if I notice any of the little larvae crawling around, I'll come out and spray them all with pyrethrum. But yeah, hopefully they won't be too much of a problem. Alright, that aside, I figured I'd start with this Hopi blue corn here, because it's been doing really well. So about a month ago, I was still taller than it, and now I can't even reach the top of this one. So I've never had corn do that well before. I did notice this as well, which just looks like a cob has grown outside of a like skin or whatever. So yeah, I'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's doing really well. I was worried about it getting pollinated, so I came out here and hand pollinated it yesterday when it wasn't raining. So hopefully we'll get a fair amount of that. What else? I've got Tromboncino Pumpkin here. So these are, well, they're a pumpkin technically, but you can pick them as zucchinis. So you could pick that right now and eat it as a zucchini. There was one there. Didn't quite make it. So yeah, I've got two of those. I probably need to put a little trellis up here just to stand them up because it's already reaching all the way over here. Yeah, I've got some grain amaranth here. I've just been eating the leaves off of those lately. I did take up all the oats that were in here recently, and they're just inside drying. I've still got plenty of carrots over there amongst all the weeds. So there's another potato beetle. Hate these things. I've noticed them on zucchinis and stuff as well, so I just have to keep my eye open for them. Yeah, more potatoes there. There's still a couple of beetroots up the back here that the bugs didn't get. Oh, these ones actually look pretty good. And still some more coming there. So in this little patch, I've just got some more pumpkins. This one's Acorn Squash. You can start to see some forming there. But those are real nice. And this one's just a Kent. So yeah, they usually get about 50 feet long before they start grow any fruit on them. And I had some parsnips in here that I meant to dig out, but they've gone to seed, so I'll have to come back and take those out because I don't really need parsnip seeds at the moment. And I've pretty much given up on this little instinct garden bed. It's still got a couple of these shallots in here. I just noticed a seed head. I'll pull that one off. So I'll wait until those are ready and I'll pull those up, and then I'll cut this borage out. I'm just leaving the flowers for the bees now at the moment. And the Acorn's doing really well. It's about 3.5 foot tall now. And looks like it's expanding a bit. I've got some watermelons here. They're starting to vine out. I still haven't seen any fruit on them, but yeah, it's only a matter of time, I suppose. Some little capsicums are doing alright. This little orange tomato and that yellow pear tomato actually needs to be trimmed because it's shading a lot of stuff out. I got another small watermelon here, and I've actually got some sweet potatoes in the ground underneath it, but you can't really see them. So yeah, a few more shallots. I'll probably pull this one up soon, and potato onions, they're just starting to die back a little bit, so hopefully we'll get a bit of dry weather and they won't all rot in the ground. So this is my patch of beans, yellow wax beans and green beans. I think they're getting towards the end of their life a bit, so I might pull these ones up and replant them, and that way we'll get another crop of beans out of there. I've also got a little yellow Marconi capsicum for the seeds that I saved last year, and this one's doing really well. See, it's got a bit of fruit starting. Yep, there's one. The only problem is they have to be put in bags, otherwise fruit fly and stuff will get into them, and yeah, I don't like eating them with little worms crawling in them. There's another one there too. So these are the broad beans. They're completely finished. I was just letting the last few dry out to use as seed for next year. And this patch of potatoes is doing really well. I have russets in there that took a long time to come up, but yeah, they're flowering and everything now. So this is another acorn squash, acorn pumpkin. Some nasturtiums, my carrot seeds. I did take a few of these off. I'll probably take some more off, and then I'm gonna try and process them. I just hope that they haven't been like damaged by the rain that we've had lately. You know, they haven't rotted away inside or anything, but most of these are starting to dry out now. And I'll need to pull up all of this grass and these weeds still, and then maybe they'll be able to seed themselves a little bit. This is another Tromboncino here. I'm gonna try and run it up the tree. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. My little patch of sweet potatoes there, and there's still a couple of little potato plants in there. This mess of dill. Yeah, again, it's gone to seed, and most of them are starting to dry out now. But under there, I still have a couple of beetroots and some spring onions. And I think there's a little pigeon pea over there I'll have a look at. I've got some more sweet potatoes here, but then I also got a couple of volunteer potatoes come up in the middle of it. So they must be from the Nadine potatoes that I dug up before I started growing everything in grass clippings, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. A few more of my white onions. These were planted a lot later than the ones that I already harvested, and again, more broad beans there. Yep. So here's a little pigeon pea. It's doing pretty good here. I have another one planted with my banana that's doing really good. And another one in my little cursed patch, but it's not doing good, surprisingly. Some sage here. I've still got my, what is this, perennial kale or perennial collards, but yeah, as you can see, the bugs are everywhere, so I won't eat them, but I'll cut it back again, and when it comes into autumn, all the bugs should bugger off, and hopefully they'll come back. Otherwise, I'll start some more from seed. So these mounds of blue corn are doing all right. They're not quite as tall as the other ones, I guess, just because they're planted so closely together that they're competing a bit more with each other. But hopefully we'll get something out of that anyway. Alright, and butternut squash. I think there's 2 vines planted here. But yeah, they're starting to vine out and go everywhere. And starting to fruit a little bit, so that'll be good. And so this patch of strawberries has gone insane. I don't know if you can see all the flowers and fruit forming on that. Unfortunately, what happens in the rain is it either rots or it splits open, so I've lost a few in the last few days. But yeah, as you can see, they're all starting to flower and ripen. So I'm definitely going to have, you can see that one's got a little bit of a rotten patch on it. You can probably just cut that in half and eat the good half. So yeah, it should have a freezer full of strawberries again by the end of the summer. And I have all of these failed onions here that really haven't done too much, and some failed baby carrots. But I'm just going to leave them until they fall over. There'll be a few that should be okay, but yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. I think it might have just been the wrong time of year to plant them. I've also got this Cayenne Chili, which overwintered in this tiny little pot here, and it came back to life, along with this jalapeno here. So I'm probably going to just pot the cayenne pepper up. I have other jalapeno, so I'll just let it go until it dies, and we'll get a couple of bits of fruit off of it. So these red onions still doing good. None of those are really ready yet. You can see them starting to bulb up in here. So they're getting bigger. These shallots, I think the potting mix was just staying too damp. So these have all died off. I'll probably pull those up. And I'll have to save all the other ones of the banana shallots for seed, I think, to try again next year. Get more red onions. I've got heaps of zucchinis coming on at the moment. See any of that? Go over there. A few of them have been getting problems with rot, blossom end rot. So I put down some trace elements, but I might have to give them another feed just to try and stop that. And again, I got more shallots over here as well. So these little Roma tomatoes, I just had my first one ripe last night. Yeah, they taste real good. So this little one, bugs have been getting into them quite a bit. But yeah, I've got plenty more tomatoes. As for this little cucumber, it hasn't done anything at all, so I'm going to pull it out because it did flower. It did have one piece of fruit on there, but it just rotted away. And these little pickling onions here, I'm not really sure if I planted them at the right time of year, if they're going to do anything, but you can use them for green onions, I suppose. And more tomatoes. These are Lucky Tiger tomatoes. So when they're ready, they'll be green with sort of pink stripes on them. But yeah, I haven't had any of those ready yet. More zucchini down here. And my comfrey's just started to flower. Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, it's the first time that's done that. And my black-eyed peas look like they're starting to flower, or about to start flowering. So hopefully those will be good. And I do have some Cherokee purple tomatoes, but yeah, they're not doing really well at all. They keep splitting open from the rain or getting eaten by stuff, so I might pull those out and just not worry about them. That's a little potato lane up here. It's still chock full of potatoes. I'll come and pull up some of these weedy looking ones soon and replant some fresh ones. But I've also got one up here, along with some sorrel, which is just going a bit crazy, and some red sorrel off the back. So I got more yacon in the container. It's not quite as tall as the one in the ground, but yeah, it's coming along pretty nicely still. And I got some more mature sweet potatoes that were planted before winter, but they sort of died back over winter. See, but yeah, they hopefully will be ready a bit sooner than the other ones. Yep, you can already see a little sweet potato forming there. And another one over here, which is actually starting to flower as well, which is a first. I've not seen them flower before. And what do I have in here? Yeah, more broad beans that died off. This one's sort of come back, but it's covered in bugs. So I'll pull all those out. I've got a few little strawberries that I planted months and months ago, but they were just shaded out from all the cover crops that I had in here. So I've also got a volunteer tomato, which is doing okay. And the rest of it is leeks, pretty much, and a pigeon pea in that back corner there. And yeah, I have to find another spot for some thyme. But until then, I'll just leave it here because it's well established and it's huge. Here we got, yeah, more shallots, more sage, another little zucchini, and they're all doing fine. So I think that's almost everything. Our West Indian arrowroot's really been enjoying the heat and the rain, and it's starting to go a bit crazy, so hopefully we'll get something out of there soon. A few random onions here, still doing good. This one's actually started to split into two. Who knows? And I've got this volunteer tomato plant that's actually growing in between my guava trees on top of a piece of plastic. I'm not sure of the variety, but it looks like a stripy one, so I'm thinking it'll be either green zebra or tigerella, as those are the stripy ones that have grown before. I have no idea how a seed for one got on top of this plastic in all the cut grass, I guess. But yeah, just something a bit random there, but it's just doing really well. It looks like one of the healthiest tomato plants that I've got, so definitely happy about that. And if they're green zebras, they're one of my favorites, so kind of got my fingers crossed for that. And lastly is just the Stevia, whatever it's called. It's doing really well. I've taken a few leaves off of it and had a cup of tea, just with some crushed up leaves in it. And yeah, it's definitely nice. I just like the leaves just to chew on. I think that's the best way to use it, really. But I will be trying to make some extract out of this with some vodka at some point. I'm just going to let it get a little bit bigger and then pick a few leaves off. Alright, so the last thing here is my Egyptian walking onion, and it's doing really good. See, it's separated. I think they do form little bulbs down the bottom there. And it'll also form little bulbs up the top of the leaves, and that's how you actually get new ones. So I'm just waiting for that to happen. I haven't eaten any, I haven't cut it, I haven't done anything. I'm just gonna wait and see what it wants to do, but it's definitely doing better than any of my other onions. So. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.